friends, what it do? It's Purple Panda, aka Andrea Tompkins here to talk to you about our 2-Point Panda topic for the day. I just finished doing a live in my Make Sense group for active Scentsy consultants, and I forgot to save the video before uploading it. Normally I save it so that I can share it with you guys, share links so you guys can share it because it's not shareable from the group, and I forgot to do that. So here's me re-recording it just for you so I can have a link for you, okay? So today's 2-Point Panda is entitled, I just don't have the time. These quotations, Joey from Friends, he always got it wrong. I just don't have the time. And what I want to address first is that we don't have a time issue, we have a priority issue. So let's scrap that saying from our vocabulary forever. And from now on, when someone says, hey, do you want to do this? You go, ooh, I just don't have the time. You go, no, you know what? That's just not a priority right now. My list of priorities is super long. That's just not a priority, okay? Because saying we just don't have the time is a lie, all right? So today's 2 points are what we do in response when we hear a potential recruit or a current teammate recruit say, I just don't have the time. What do we do there? And point number 2 is what do we do when we find ourselves saying, I just don't have the time. All right, so point number 1, you're talking to someone, you've got Susan here, you're jamming, she buys your Scentsy all the time. You're like, yeah, you know what, why don't you join my team? You can buy for yourself, support your own habit, make a little cash moolah back. And Susan goes, man, you know what? I love Scentsy. I know I host all the time for you, get freebies, but I just don't think I have the time to sell it. Susan, her issue is not time, it's a priority. So what do you then do strategically as someone who's trying to grow their team and build their business? You figure out what Susan's priorities are. You go, well, Susan, like, what do you love doing in your free time? When you do have time, what do you love to do? Or what do you spend your time doing? Or what do you prioritize? Like, what are some of your priorities in your life? And maybe Susan says her kids. If that's the case, and you're a mama with kids, you're lucky because what do? You show Susan pictures of you working your business with your kids. I know, I've been in Scentsy for 5 years. I got 4 kids. We work Scentsy together all the time. They slap stickers on things, labels, they stamp stuff, postcards. I get them in a line with those adorable Scentsy postcards where you can put the rub and smell stickers on them. And everyone gets their own color of sticker sheet and they just go down the little line, slap one, move it on, slap one, move it on. And I've got videos, boomerangs, pictures of my kids helping me with my business and us partnering. They think it's craft time. It's so much fun. They love it when we work Scentsy together and they feel so proud about it. And it's like building work ethic in them. So if I'm talking to Susan and she says that, I can tell her all of those things I just said. Because what am I doing? I'm showing Susan that her priority of her children doesn't have to be pushed away by Scentsy. No, Scentsy can align with that priority and partner with it, and then you have time for both. They can both become a priority, okay? Scentsy doesn't push anything out of the way. You don't lose time on other things for Scentsy. No, Scentsy aligns with your life. You partner it together and do it. So you figure out what their priorities are, and then you figure out a smart strategic way to show them how to align Scentsy with it. And the same thing goes with current teammates. When they're doing great, they're rocking on, all of a sudden you notice they start to fizzle, and you approach them and you're like, hey Jan, what's going on? I notice like you're not doing Scentsy as much. Is everything okay? What can I do for you? Because that's what good leaders do, right? Yeah, they reach out to the team. And you know, Jan, I almost said Susan again. Jan goes, man, like I love Scentsy, but I'm thinking about dropping it because I've just been so busy lately. I don't have the time. You talk to Jan and say, Jan, what's taking up all your time? What's so busy? What's going on? What are your priorities? And you do the same exact thing. You show Jan that it's not a time issue, it's priority, and you show her how she can partner her priorities with Scentsy, okay? Point number 2, what do you do when you start saying, I don't have the time for Scentsy? I can tell you how many times this has come up in my life. I get in a really busy season, Scentsy gets dropped down low, and I go, man, do I just need to drop Scentsy? Like, I just don't really have the time for it. Nope. Here's what you do first. And I've done this, and I can show you guys the proof. It's a great activity. I have a life coach, strengths coach, and she made me do this one day, and it changed my life. You get a piece of paper, or if you're me, you get about 5, and you write all of your job titles. Okay, so you are a doctor, maybe, your teacher, whatever your job title is. Maybe you're a Sensi consultant. Okay, that's great. You write that down, and then all your other job titles. Are you a wife? Are you a mom? Are you a friend? Are you a small group leader? Are you whatever? You write down all of those lists. Me, it was nursery and preschool director, Sensi director, wife, mother, homemaker, whatever, all these things. Okay, and so once you have your list of 5, 10, 2, 20, whatever all of your job titles are, then you break it down. You write that job title and you write all of the tasks that are required of that job title. For example, are you a Sensi director? You lead a team. You send monthly mailers. Maybe you send monthly team mailers, monthly customer mailers. You do team shout outs. You have to sell 500 every month to get those numbers, which means you have to have X amount of parties every month. You have to recruit so many people. Like all of these tasks that go into that job title, you write it all down. Okay? And then you look at it and you figure out what you don't want to do anymore. And it could be an entire job title, like, I don't want to be this anymore. Hopefully you're not saying like wife or mom, like those gotta stay, guys. But for me, I was a small group leader. I led a women's group, we led a community group, I attended like 2 other women's groups. Like it was something that was really overwhelming me and I didn't want to do anymore. So I knew that I wanted to cross those off. So I did that. So you figure out what you can get rid of completely. And then, this is where the rubber meets the road, you actually have to stop doing those things. You have to go through the process and do whatever it takes to stop doing those things. For me, I had to go to my church pastors or my leaders above me and go, hey, I can't lead this group anymore. I don't want to. Who can we turn it over to? How can I get rid of it? How, whatever. And I did. I dropped them all. I went to my husband and said, hey, as far as me being a mom, I do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and I think that it would really help me if we could partner in this, and like 50-50, you do this, I do this, da-da-da. Just figuring out some things that like how you can drop things or shift it over. And so then what you do is you are freeing up time, you're reevaluating your priorities, and you figure out where Sensi wants to go. Because in that, one of those job titles is a Sensi consultant. And so you can figure out where it falls in the line of things. Because then after that, you shuffle them around. Like I know first and foremost, I'm a wife. That's number 1. And so all of those things that go with that, like that's my job. Number 2, I'm a mom. So those are like my top priorities. I had a job at the time as a nursery and preschool director. Like that was so far down. Like that's not number 1. You have to prioritize and figure out where you want things to go. And that's on you. It doesn't have to be the same, but you figure out where Sensi goes in there too. And that's how you realize like how much time you have for it and how much of a priority it is or it isn't for you. You could write your list and say Sensi could be on there and you could go, I don't want to do it anymore. And that's fine. No, I'm not judging. But it's not a time issue, it's a priority issue. So you need to get your priorities all laid out and figured out so you can get your life right, okay? So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this 2-point panda. I went 3-4 minutes over 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. It's just such good content. Let me know if you want this in a longer training. I try to make these 2-point pandas super short because I know we don't have hours and hours and hours during the day to watch these trainings. So I try to make them short and sweet and easy for you and memorable to help you in your business and in life. I hope you guys found it helpful. Hope you share it with your teams and everyone that you know. I love you guys. Have a great, blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.